So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the MLB Lockout. And before we even get into this video completely, I'll be the first one to say I have zero idea what's going on with the MLB Lockout, other than everybody is irritated at Rob Manfred and that we want baseball back. And I'll be 100% honest with you, I am not a hardcore baseball fan. I am probably one of the more casual baseball fans in America. I enjoy it when it's on, but when, football season's on during, even the MLB playoffs, I watch football. Like, I'm more of a football fan, but baseball is a great sport to watch, especially in person. Like, people say baseball is really boring. I disagree. Baseball is one of the most exciting sports to watch in person. Like, I think that I would think that even baseball fans think that, like, baseball is really, really fun to watch in person. And for everybody that says it's boring, go to a baseball game in person. Especially if you're invested into a team. I'm invested in I shouldn't say invested, but I like the Royals. And when the Royals and I go to their games, they're exciting, they're fun. Like, if you have a team that you can at least get invested into when you're there, even if you are a casual fan, baseball is one heck of a game to watch in person. And even if you, like me, I enjoy the sport of baseball, so I can watch it on TV. I can watch an entire 9-inning game on television without any issues and not get bored whatsoever. So baseball, I love baseball, and I want baseball to get back. But I just feel like baseball itself just hates it. Like, it hates itself. I think Rob Manfred hates baseball. I think he's ruining baseball, and he hates it. I don't know why he can't come up with a deal for these players. Now, there's a whole bunch of issues like the competitive taxes or luxury tax, whatever they call it, arbitration for players, all these issues, competitiveness of the games, which I think are all fair, which are all issues. Because if a team has money, they can just buy the players or rent them, kind of like what the Dodgers did. I know they didn't win the World Series, all that blah blah blah. You can just rent players and they'll all be on your team, and then the next year just move off of them. So that's the thing about baseball. It's like, it doesn't really feel like a team anymore these days can just build through the draft and build young talent. Because once that young talent for, like a Pittsburgh Pirates team, or even the Royals, I feel like can be guilty of this, or just any team, like once that player becomes too expensive to keep on the team, like teams just ditch them for younger players and they don't come back. Like, look at the Royals, World Series team. A lot of those guys didn't come back. In a couple of years after they won that World Series, they were gone. So it's just, it really feels like the owner with the most money, because these owners don't care about the luxury tax. Like, they'll pay it off, whatever it means. And I'll be the first one honest, just like the NFL salary cap. I don't understand the NFL salary cap, and I understand that a whole bunch more than this competitive balance BS or whatever it is that the MLB has, arbitration. I have no idea what arbitration is, but it just feels like it's a complete scam to hold players down. That's how I personally read into it. It just, because the fact that you have to go through an entire process, it sounds like, to even get a raise from your current contract, and if you get denied that raise or arbitration, you get stuck at your salary. I don't even know. I could be wrong with that, but that's how I feel when I'm reading this. I think the MLB system is a complete sham, and I think they need to get rid of it. The competitive balance is screwed, because whichever team has the most money is going to be the team that makes the most, that wins the most games, makes it to the World Series, all this garbage. So it just really feels like there's no competitive balance, there's no fairness. And then the MLBPA wanted the competitive luxury tax raised so players could get paid more money. So hopefully that would help with the competitive balance. But at the same time, the luxury tax is their version of a salary cap, which I don't think luxury taxes are working in baseball. I think what baseball needs is a flat, solid, hard salary cap. And I think that will solve a whole bunch of issues when it comes to baseball. The on-field product is a whole nother thing, which I kind of want to discuss in this, video, because my boiling point, I think Rob Manfred hates baseball and he's trying to kill it, actively trying to kill it, because he canceled games for absolutely no reason when there was more than enough time. Because even if I'm recording this on March 6th, if they get it on March 6th, the players will be happily ready to play, the 31st. If they come up with a deal on the 25th, I guarantee you the players want to play baseball. So maybe they'll cancel the first series of games so the players can get ready. But these players want to play baseball as soon as they possibly can. So I don't think the players have any issues with what's going on with the world of baseball. So I think that the players are fine. Like, if baseball's ready to play this second, the players will play. Like that, I don't think that's the issue whatsoever. I just think it's MLB, like canceling games for no reason. I think that's killing the product. You know, they went through all the baseball has been on a decline for a long time, and then you have all these issues with COVID, all this garbage, and they're 2 years of baseball that just hasn't felt right completely. It's just there's a lot of things that are wrong with the sport of baseball right now. But the fact that this business side of it can't get figured out, you're not going to be able to fix the on-field product. Like the issues of, I feel like there can be a huge argument of whether the players should get paid more or less. But I think the main thing for me to fix that is a salary cap. Like, look at the NFL. I think they do it perfect. And if arbitration, I don't understand arbitration at all. And if that's a way of holding players sabotage and, not let them get paid, that needs to go away completely, because I'm not in favor of anybody holding anybody down in a job to get paid. I think that's wrong. I think that's terrible. If a player has earned a raise, I don't think a job should be able to take that away from them. And I don't think they should try to take their money away from them. I think that's kind of wrong. Now, do I think every player should be paid the same? No, that's silly. A guy like Mike Trout's not going to get paid the same as somebody who's lesser known that I can't think of the name of, because I'm not, I said I'm a casual fan, but you see what's going on, the reactions on Twitter, and everybody's upset. You can tell that nobody's happy. So the business side of baseball, I think is killing even the on-field product itself. You could argue isn't necessarily what baseball wants it to be. But I feel like because the one thing that people are upset about with baseball is the games last forever. I'm like, me personally, I would take a 5-hour baseball game right now. I would sit 5 hours in front of my TV, not moving. I would sit there for 5 hours to watch a baseball game over the nonsense that is happening right now. I think anybody would be in favor of that. They would sit down for, the 3.5, 4 hours, 5 hours, however long it takes to finish a game. I think people would take that over no baseball whatsoever, because at least when you have baseball, then you can work on the other things to help baseball on the field become better, which, I mean, not going to lie, there are things that need to be better about the on-field product. Which, if we're looking on the on-field side of baseball, like, there are 3 major things that people are discussing. Bigger bases, which I mean, if that's for player safety, I guess I get that, fine, whatever. Like, I'm all for player safety. You don't want anybody to get hurt, fine. The pitch clock, I think pitch clock is one of the biggest things that need to be added to baseball. Like, the amount of time it takes in between pitches, I feel like is outrageous. Like, we have a play clock in basketball, baseball, or not baseball. If we had a play clock in baseball, that's what we're talking about. We would be happy. We have a play clock in basketball, football. We have play clocks, and I think the play clocks are important. You need a play clock. You need the pace of the game to flow. And if the game's not flowing, then it gets old really, really quickly. Like, it drags on. But again, I think people would agree 5 hours of baseball right now over none would be better than nothing. So I think a pitch clock is a huge issue, and I think that's something on the field that needs to be fixed. Bigger bases, it is what it is. But the third thing is that they were looking into was banning the shift. And I thought, when I read that the first thing I thought of was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because my brain instantly, when MLB does something to handcuff a defense, like in the NFL, they kind of handcuff the defense because you can't hit the quarterback, you can't hit the receiver, you can't, the game it's safer for the players, which I get it, but in football, they have a lot of rules. But some of those rules still allow you to play your base defense, still allow you to, come up with schemes, allow you to blitz the passer, allow you to, rush 5 if you want to, drop, 8 into coverage, whatever it is. There's no limitations on the scheming in football that you can do, really, unless you're offsides or have more men on the field than you're allowed to. So, football, at least on defense, you can still do what you want to do. And baseball, banning the shift is literally like banning blitzing in football. I think it's stupid. It takes away people are arguing because they want more offense in baseball, which I guess you could agree with. But in football, when offenses are having a bad game, we don't look at the defense and we're like, oh, we need to get the defense out the field. There's not enough scoring going on. That's garbage. I think that's a terrible argument, because it's not the defense. It's not their job to help the offense score more runs in a baseball game. So I don't understand this argument whatsoever. I'll be the first one to admit I think it's stupid. I don't understand it whatsoever. You literally they want to ban the shift because they want the offense to be more productive. Which, yeah, baseball offensively isn't very productive, but that's not the defensive fault. I think you can look at that more off the hitters. And people are arguing, oh, pitchers are throwing over 100 miles an hour now. And it's like, well, yeah, but guess what? You have to adjust to the game. In football, the defenses have to adjust every single week to the quarterbacks they're playing, the running backs, the offensive line, the receivers, everybody they're playing every single week. So in baseball games, you have to adjust to the way that the hitters are coming up. So when guys that are, home run hitters who hit for power, but they only hit in one direction, yeah, it's smart. Lean to one side. Lead to one side of the diamond, so that way, hey, we're helping our team. We're giving ourselves a better advantage from winning the game. I don't think it's fair to give the offensive player more of a chance to get a better on-base percentage, a better batting average, slugging percentage, whatever, just because they're not productive, because they can't hit against a shift. There's a simple way of fixing this. Stop always going for the home run hit. Stop always trying to be a home run hitter. You can play small ball baseball, and people are like, it's boring. It's like, if you enjoy the sport of baseball, it's not going to be boring. For, even more casual fans than myself, yeah, they're going to be like, oh, they didn't hit a home run every inning. This game is boring. This game's stupid. It's not how it works. Like, you get down to the nitty gritty of a game, especially in the playoffs. You're in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning of a game where every single hit matters. A guy, the defense is in a shift, and you're like, okay, we got to hit to that side of the, diamond, and they do it, and a couple runs score of it. That's just as exciting as anything else, because they're scoring in baseball. Like, I don't understand this. I really think banning the shift is stupid. I think it puts the defense at an even bigger disadvantage, which I don't think is fair to the defense of a baseball team. It's like, they're there to get 3 outs to help their pitcher so they can come back on the field and score more runs to win the game. So I think if they actually ban the shift, which reportedly is one thing that they want to do, I think that's stupid. So there's a lot of things that, on field need to be fixed. A pitch clock, fine. I guess bigger bases for player safety, but banning the shift, I think is just absolutely stupid. I don't get it. If they want more production from the offensive players, they need to learn how to hit to opposite field, hit up the middle, become a player that can hit in all directions of a field, and stop relying on the sport from banning the defense from doing something that helps them win a baseball game. So the banning the shift thing, I'll never understand, and that bothers me on the field of them actually trying to change. Now, obviously, the business side of stuff has to get completely figured out before we can do anything else when it comes to on field, which I hope they do get figured out, because baseball during the summer, when there's really nothing else, when the NBA finals are over, when we're waiting for football, it's a really good time passer, and it's very enjoyable to watch. So I hope they get this figured out soon. I really don't want it to be, deep into summer. And because if it does get into the deep of summer, everybody's going to forget about baseball and nobody's going to watch. So they need to get their stuff figured out. But that was just me talking baseball, something I don't think I've ever done. It's not really the best thing to talk about baseball-wise, because if I'm going to talk about baseball, I'd rather be talking about the games. Then it would be even more enjoyable, I bet, for other people. But I get this is the biggest story in baseball right now. Haven't really talked about it. I just really hope that it gets resolved soon.